Happy Monday morning, everybody. It's just me today. I hope you all had a great weekend and that you're looking forward to a wonderfully sunny week this week. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about sleep. You know, sleep has been evading a lot of people for a long time, but especially during this coronavirus pandemic. People have had all sorts of troubles with sleep, and it really depends on the individual, but I've heard of people having troubles getting to sleep. I've heard of people having trouble staying asleep or waking up in the early morning hours and not being able to get back to sleep. This is really troublesome because sleep really is the lifeline for a lot of us. I mean, having a good sleep means that we have good memory, we have good focus during the day, we can pay attention to the things that are important to us, we feel healthy, it actually helps our immune system to be working properly. It even helps our sex drive. So there's so many benefits to having a good sleep. In fact, having poor sleep for a long time can actually cause things like obesity, heart disease, high blood pressure, and diabetes, just to name a few. So having a good quality sleep is so important to our health. Just like, you know, getting good nutrition, getting good exercise, it all works together for our physical health. But I find that during this pandemic, especially, people have had a hard time with getting a really good quality sleep. So I thought today we could talk about a few different reasons why that might be so. For one, many of us have lost our daily routines because of the city's shutdown. So whether people have lost their jobs or people are working from home, or even the fact that people have lost their ability to do their regular daily routines, like going to the gym or going shopping or meeting up with a friend for coffee, that kind of thing. We have lost those routines during our day, which means that our bedtimes might not be the same, our wake up times might not be the same. We might even be having little naps at home because we're feeling exhausted from all the changes that are happening. So we're having little naps, which then disturbs our sleep in the evening. So many different ways that our sleep is dependent on a consistent, predictable schedule during the day. And that schedule has been changed so drastically because of the coronavirus shutdown. So that's definitely a reason why people might be struggling with their sleep right now. The other reason is that many of us have upped our time with technology. So I don't know about you, but I found that at the beginning of the pandemic, I was checking my phone all the time, phone or news on TV, wanting to know what the latest updates were. You know, I couldn't wait every morning for Prime Minister Trudeau to give his news and his updates in the morning. And I would just be glued to the television to find out, okay, what's happening now? You know, what's the newest thing? You know, just so that I could have a little bit of predictability or control in my day. But what it amounted to was more time in front of the screen. You know, other people might be binging on shows on Netflix because, hey, what else is there to do when you can't go outside and you can't visit your, you know, your usual places like coffee shops and shopping malls and movie theaters, and, you know, so people might be watching a lot more TV. People might be FaceTiming and Skyping and Zooming a lot more. You know, even for our work, our face-to-face contact has been replaced by Zoom. So all of this tech time, all of this time in front of a screen does have an effect on our body. It has effect on our body's production of melatonin. It stimulates versus relaxes the brain, and it might even cause worry and anxiety about the world events and all the changes that are happening from moment to moment. Which leads into the other reason why people might be having a struggle with sleep, which is the worry and the anxiety. You know, there's so much changing and so much has been taken from us. You know, our freedom to just move about however we want. The fear of getting sick or somebody close to us getting sick. The worry about our jobs, our stability, whether or not the kids are going back to school in the fall, or how that's going to look, and whether or not, you know, we're going to have a second wave of this COVID and whether that's going to be worse than the first. All of these worries and anxieties cause our brain to go on overdrive, searching for evidence, trying to problem solve. And unfortunately, our brains are trying to problem solve a problem that isn't really solvable right now. The whole world is searching for a solution to the coronavirus pandemic, but it's not yet available to us. And so that can steal our sleep. It can make it hard for us to get to sleep at night because of all these thoughts running willy-nilly in our minds. It can also cause us to wake up in the middle of the night, all of a sudden worried and panicky about what the next day is going to look like. Or for many of you, it can cause you to wake up very early in the morning and then not be able to get to sleep. So it is definitely a sleep stealer. The other thing that might be having an impact on your sleep is not enough natural light and fresh air. When we stay indoors more during the quarantine, we're just not getting that natural vitamin D. We're not getting outside to exercise and move our muscles and our joints. We're just not getting that fresh air into our lungs. And that can, again, really cause a lot of difficulties with our sleep, with our natural patterns of rhythm during the day. And then the last one is for those of you who are working from home. Sometimes that transition can be very difficult for people who have never worked from home before. And so having, the home office, having the phone with you, if people aren't really, really strategic and really, really solid in creating boundaries between the time that I work and the time that I am now off work and in my personal life, then people might find that even during the day, the evening, the night, they're checking their emails, they're checking their text messages, they're on the computer, looking up information. So what it equates to is that we're always at work, which can really have effects on our sleep. It can really cause problems in the way that we rest and how we rest and whether or not we can get a good sleep. Now, I've got a couple of ideas for getting a really good sleep, but just please know that sleep is very individual. Different people have different ways of gaining sleep, of improving sleep, and what works for one will not necessarily work for the other. I know people who can watch TV right up until bedtime, and it doesn't seem to affect their sleep. I also know people who can drink coffee, caffeinated coffee, right up until they go to sleep, and it doesn't seem to have an impact on the type of sleep or the quality of sleep. So please know that this is very individual. Just some techniques to try so that you can find out what works well for you. So a few basic ideas. First of all, try as much as possible to keep a consistent sleep schedule. Even when you don't need to get up early to go to a job or to go to the gym, or maybe even when you don't need to go to bed early, set a schedule that works for you. So if you know that you are an 8-hour a night kind of person, go to bed at a set time where you know that you'll be able to get your 8 hours of sleep if you wake up at a certain time in the morning. I've also heard that going to bed early is better than sleeping in late. So consider that, meaning that, the time before midnight is more important than the time that you sleep in the morning. So see if you can get to bed, 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock and get your 8 hours of sleep in. If you're a 10-hour a night person like I am, make sure you get your 10 hours of sleep in. You're just allowing for that without having to cut it short. Try even to forego that nap. Try not to have that nap in the afternoon, although it is very, very tempting, especially when it's a beautiful day and you've got a shady tree in your backyard. The other suggestion I make is to develop a comfortable bedtime routine. So this is a way of really helping your body and your mind to get used to the idea of slowing down in the evening so that it prepares itself for rest. It prepares itself for that 8 hours of slumber. You might think about things like turning down the lights, having a hot bath or a hot shower, reading a book, and the more boring the book, the better it is for sleep, listening to some relaxing music, having a cup of hot tea, practicing a mindfulness, and maybe for you avoiding screen time and physical exertion, just before bedtime in the evenings. See what works for you, but try to develop a routine so that as you're doing these activities before bedtime, your brain and your mind are recognizing that, this means sleep is coming. This means that we need to calm down, relax, and get ready for a nice, comfortable sleep. Of course, considering ways to manage your worry or your stress before bedtime is so important for a lot of us. That's a really difficult one, though, is how do you clear your mind, or at least calm your mind, of all of your worries and your stress before you go to bed? Well, Some ideas are you might want to, have a good friend or a family member that you can just chat with, early in the evening to get kind of all your thoughts and your feelings out of your mind and just let those go. You may also want to keep a journal so you can write down those thoughts and those feelings so that there they are in the journal, in your bedroom or on your bedside table. And basically the idea is there they are. My mind doesn't have to think about them anymore. Tomorrow when I get up, if I need to problem solve any of those, they're right there in the journal for me, but I don't have to keep them rolling around in my mind as I sleep. You might even want to try a mindfulness practice in the evening, something like the letting go mindfulness or the sorting into boxes that we did on these videos a few weeks ago. Those mindfulness practices can be really good for helping your mind to just calm and to put the thoughts in perspective and to just be able to focus in on the rest, the breath and the rest that you need to fall into sleep. I've also found that progressive muscle relaxation also really helps me for getting to sleep, and deep breathing, even just the simple act of deep breathing can be really helpful in helping me get to sleep. Positive self-statements may also help to tame that worry. Putting yourself to sleep with a bit of a mantra like, I can do this. I am peaceful. I am calm. So, any of those really helpful, relaxing, encouraging activities could really help to manage that worry or stress before bedtime. If you work from home, you may want to create those good, healthy boundaries like silencing your work phone at the end of the workday, refusing to check emails after a certain time, closing the door to your workspace even at the end of the day so that your evening can be spent separate from the work day, and you can have better work-life balance as your evening is committed to your personal life. The other number 4 suggestion that I have is to get some of that natural light, fresh air, and exercise during the day. You might have to get creative with this one because some of the things that we would normally do out in our community are not available to us even yet. But finding ways to exercise your body, spending time in the sunlight and the fresh air, that can be super beneficial to your sleep length and your quality. I have even found that taking a 20-minute walk around my neighborhood has done wonders for my mind and my body and allowed me to just take that break so that I feel a lot more rested and ready for rest when I get home. Going out to the forest, even ones in the city like Fish Creek or Boness, just such a beautiful place to be, to clear your mind, breathe in some of that beautiful fresh air, be grateful and mindful about all the beautiful trees and rivers and plants around you, just to really, give you that sense of gratitude and then just relaxing into hopefully the night's sleep. And then the last one that I really think is important is try not to worry about insomnia or sleeplessness. And that's hard to do when you're waking up in the middle of the night, you're looking at the clock, your mind starts to worry about how non-functional, non-productive you're going to be the next day because you're going to be so tired, you're not even going to be able to focus. That's not helpful because then the worry and the anxiety just builds up and becomes like a tornado in your mind. So when you find yourself unable to get to sleep or stay asleep, rather than staring at the clock, try to be in the moment and avoid catastrophizing. Just being in that present moment, maybe doing a mindfulness right there and right then, maybe trying some deep breathing, letting those thoughts of worry or of concern, those emotions of fear or scarcity, just let those move away like as if they were on clouds in the sky. You may even want to just get up and read a book or have a drink of water or, just getting up and doing something until you feel tired again and then try again. Trying again to sleep when you are ready, but not letting yourself get into the worry about the inability to sleep as much as possible. Again, these strategies may or may not work for you. Give them a try and just experiment with different things and see which might work for you. The other thing is your insomnia might be a medical issue. So I do encourage you to talk to your doctor. You might even see a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, or maybe a massage therapist, and see if any of those might help your body to relax, which then would lend into your mind relaxing and having a better sleep. If you work at CAS, check your CAS benefit package, because they do offer a lot of services available that could really just have a lasting impact on your ability to have a better length and quality of sleep. So I would like to do a mindfulness today that for me is a sounds mindfulness, and it includes listening to Tibetan bowls. And what I find about sound mindfulness is that it allows me to get into a place of peace and tranquility, and allows sleep to come faster to me in the evenings. So it's very common that I will listen to a nature sounds, some nature sounds like a stream running or the rain falling, even sometimes forest sounds with a bunch of birds calling and the wind blowing. I really enjoy the sounds mindfulness as I'm falling to sleep, and it really works for me. So I thought we could try a Tibetan bowl one. And I'm just going to press pause for a moment as I get this fixed up on my phone for us. Hi again. So this is a Tibetan Bowls app that I've downloaded on my phone. It's completely free, and it's just got 4 times 3, 12 bowls, where if you just press on the bowl, it makes the noise. And what I want to encourage you to do during our mindfulness is to just listen to the noise until you no longer hear it. And then I'll ring the bell, ring another bowl again. And I want you to pay attention to the length of the vibration. I want you to pay attention to the pitch. Some are higher vibration noises, some are lower, and I want you to do this as much as possible without judgment. So refraining from the thoughts of, oh, I don't like that one, or, oh, that one sounds nasty, or that one sounds wonderful. Refrain from any judgment possible. Just listen and accept what is as it is. So moment by moment, just focusing in on the sound of the Tibetan bowl as it is, moment by moment. And so to start, just getting into a nice relaxed posture, sitting or laying, whatever's available to you. Hopefully being in a place that's pretty private for this is going to be a short mindfulness, maybe 3 to 5 minutes. And then closing your eyes or keeping them open, whatever's most comfortable for you. And then focusing in on your breath, just noticing your breath as it is, right there, as your body naturally breathes it in your nostrils and out of your mouth. And just as you're focusing on your breath, I'll tap the first bowl, and I'll encourage you to just listen to what you hear, to the vibrations as they begin and as they end. And as this mindfulness comes to a close, I'll encourage you to listen to the sounds around you, become more and more aware of your current environment, may want to move in whatever way is comfortable for you. And eventually, as you're ready, opening your eyes and returning to this mindfulness, returning to this discussion, sorry. All right. How was that for everybody? Did you find that that was relaxing? It may or may not work for you. For some folks, that would be too much, focusing on the noises of Tibetan bowls, and that's okay. This is just an opportunity to explore all the different types of mindfulness and just see what works for you. And that's really the beauty of mindfulness. There's so many different ways of doing it that eventually you'll find one that works well for you. Now, one thing that's really important for me to mention is that mindfulness was never meant to make people fall asleep. It was always actually meant to help people fall awake, to become more attentive and aware of their current moment, their thoughts, their feelings, and their current sensations in this present moment. But mindfulness does sometimes have the side effect of causing such relaxation that it easily puts us into sleep. So just knowing that there's a difference in the terms of what mindfulness is meant to do versus what it sometimes has the effect of. So just remembering that mindfulness can be used just as easily during the day when you're not meaning to fall asleep. But it can be used to help people relax, which can then help lend itself to sleep. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I hope you all have such sweet sleep this week. And I look forward to seeing you again next week. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.